And Frank Sides got the voice, Brian the Voice Bolt. Does that sound like, is that a good one?
Yeah, it is.
Well, no, it's Nick the Voice Reed. We got to call you something else.
Yeah. Just Brian will work.
Yeah, that works.
Brian the Talker Bolt.
That's it.
If you answer the phone with this guy, it's a 20-minute conversation.
Frank's the over-talker. What do they call me? I step on your toes on the broadcast too much.
This is true.
I need to become the voice of something, you know?
You're the voice of shelter insurance in Texarkana, Arkansas.
Voice of insurance in general.
He had a video going earlier of you shooting something with Chick-fil-A, and I'm sitting there like, who is that? I'm like, this is Brian Bolt, Shelter Insurance. We want to let you know you can get Chick-fil-A Thursday mornings right here on our Jefferson Avenue location. I'm sending you a bill for that.
All right.
Anyway, man, we got a special show for you today. We have some PG Hawk baseball players here, the 2021 state champions.
We were going to have him on last week, but Coach literally went to Disney World after winning the state title.
Dude, you literally went to Disney World? Did you have this plan? Did you just spur of the moment? When do we get the Wheaties box?
They won game one, and then they booked the trip and said, hey, we're going.
I was joking with his daughter, and I was like, when's the Wheatie box coming down? And she's like, what are Wheaties?
Oh, no.
Like, you can't be serious, right? We're joking.
I don't know that I've seen one in a while, a Wheaties box. Have you?
I mean,
Do
listen.
they still exist?
I don't know, but Wheaties still they need to still be doing that.
I guess you're right. If I recall, they didn't taste very good.
I don't remember. I do remember we would always buy them, especially when the Dream Team was on there. We would always buy the Wheaties box. I remember.
That was the early 90s, man.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, I wouldn't buy Wheaties anymore. I'll take it back.
I think that's the only reason people bought them.
No, the only reason people.
Covers, yeah.
Well, that and then back. Do they still put toys in cereal?
I don't think so.
Do they not?
I don't think so.
That was genius.
Cereal.
Well, I mean, I remember.
You're the one with small children. You tell us.
I don't know, but I do remember picking certain cereals out because they had toys in them.
Absolutely.
You know, come find out later on in life it wasn't a good decision.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Well, anyways, before we get in with the Hawks, let's talk a little bit of national sports, man. Have we heard anything on Giannis yet? He was looked to be injured. Really, I was watching it live when it happened. It looked really bad.
Just saw a tweet moments ago that he's going to be doubtful for Game 5. So he may be without Giannis.
So he didn't
hyperextended it. Yeah.
I can't believe Trae Young didn't play and they still won. I thought this is going to be.
Me too.
NBA is so crazy. I mean, it's just it literally can go either way. Now football, I think, is a little bit different in the NFL. Like Buccaneers don't win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady, but you take the best player off the Hawks and they somehow still.
Yeah.
Win by 24 or whatever it was. It's just nuts. Yeah. Surratt says, you made it when you're on the cereal box. I agree.
Maybe Game Day needs to do that. You need to have a Wheaties player of the week. Blast them on the.
Well, first we need to find out if Wheaties still exists and if we send
if I'm going to get sued, no, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
But if they don't exist anymore, maybe I can leave the A out and do the WHEE, TES or whatever, however they spell it.
With a Y.
Yeah. Just make it obvious. It's like that. Anyway, so tonight, who are you picking tonight?
Well, I think it's tomorrow night.
It's pretty sure it's tonight.
Is it?
Is Kawhi playing?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Hawks game. Since we just segued from that.
No.
Atlanta. I mean, I don't know. Paul George is on one right now. I'm rolling with him.
All right, so I've never really been super impressed with Paul George, but he is one of the 10 best players in the league right now.
Yeah, a lot of people probably owe him an apology.
Oh, yeah, I think so. You're not a big basketball fan, are you?
I watch college basketball.
I got you. Well, there's a lot of things happening right now in the Clippers organization. Y'all know Kawhi's uncle? If you're not familiar, if you don't watch like NBA basketball, of course they're not going to talk about him during a basketball game. But behind the scenes, this dude is a handful to deal with. He's his business manager, and he negotiated Kawhi like a private jet so he doesn't have to travel with the team. And people are making so Clippers are getting to a point like, hey, I don't know if we really want this guy on our team. He's not a good teammate. And that's not saying him as a person, he's a bad person. What they're saying is, hey, he's just a bad teammate.
Yeah.
You'll see people celebrating, and he's like walking off, and that's just his personality. And evidently the new owner can't stand it. Like he can't look the other way on that stuff.
It's tough.
So I personally feel like, well, there's two ways to look at it. A, he's doing what they pay him to do. He doesn't have to do this extra stuff. All right, which is the stance Jalen Rose took and Shannon Sharp took.
Yeah.
Skip and others are taking the stance, no, that's not enough. You have to be a good teammate. You have to support your team. You have to be up when it's time to be up and all that. You can't always be down like Kawhi.
But just so we're on the same page, this bad teammate has won 2 championships with 2 different teams and 2 MVPs of the championship series.
Well, they're talking about they're wanting him to take his option and leave.
Well, good for them, but he's going to go somewhere else and win a championship.
But they're getting nothing in return.
Yeah.
All right.
And they gave up, oh my goodness, probably half a decade worth of first-round picks just to get him there.
Yeah. Damian Lillard could be a Laker next season.
Could be.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
I don't know about I know about the max contracts. I know what a salary cap is, but I don't understand how you have LeBron, AD, and then add another max contract. I don't even think that's possible.
Yeah. So
well, I say that, but you look at Brooklyn.
As crazy as it sounds, he could be a Maverick. So if you're not familiar with who the Mavericks just hired as their general manager.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
No, he's the coach. The general manager is a guy that worked at Nike. He's Dame's guy. I mean, him and Dame are so close that when Dame hit that 3 from the logo to end the series and he waved by, he walked past his teammates, past his coach, and hugged this dude first.
Really?
Yeah, and he said he wants to come to Dallas now.
Really?
Dame Lillard, yes.
Hope we don't lose Luka, man. It's going to be bad times.
I think that's the only way to keep Luka is to bring him some help.
Well.
Anyway.
All right. What else we got? Dak Prescott was back on the field today.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to see that.
Me too.
He said he was 120%. I wouldn't say stuff like that. Oh, I'm seeing Tony Romo on the TV away from me. Tony Romo is in Gladewater, Texas right now playing golf at Tempest.
See that on Instagram or what?
I have a very reliable source that works there.
Oh, okay. All right.
So Tony Romo's in Gladewater right now. You know who Tony Romo is, right?
I do know.
Or you just watched Arkansas?
No, I know who Tony is.
Speaking of,
I usually hang around like champions, but I mean I do know who he is.
Yeah, champion. Yeah, I understand. So if you don't mind me asking, then tell me about how Arkansas's baseball season went.
How it ended more appropriately.
We'll be back after this commercial here. Arkansas had a pretty good baseball season. It didn't end the way that we wanted it to.
Okay.
So I think everyone knows, and so.
Who went further? Like who went after? Like did Texas go further than them? You know,
Texas did.
Okay, all right.
Texas did. Yeah.
And I just want to remind you and everybody watching that we do have a going wager that Arkansas is going to finish in the top 2 in the entire SEC in football, and it's a $200 wager.
I don't remember exactly.
I'm going to be getting a couple games called for free this year.
No.
Is what it sounds like.
Maybe so.
That's bold, my man.
That is a bet I will take to anybody who wants it.
Now, I can say this about Arkansas's baseball season. They beat everyone in the state of Texas.
They did.
No one in Texas beat them. They beat every college that you have.
Good for them.
Now, Texas did go further than they did, so, but
I mean,
of course it's an easier route for them, but nonetheless.
Some teams beat Pleasant Grove in the regular season.
Yeah.
What was it? 7 games they lost. But they're champions.
That's
so
right. That's all.
I don't understand your point.
That's all that matters. So
leave Arkansas alone.
Texas went further. It's the only thing that he can brag about. He's a Cowboys fan, so let him have his time.
Plus, I think he said he's drifted to Oklahoma fanism anyway.
Really?
Well, listen. So I'm a fan of the kids in our area. All right, and we don't have a kid in our area playing at the University of Texas.
Okay.
To my knowledge, I had a relationship with the previous coach, not a relationship, but had a line of contact with the previous coach. I do not have a line of contact with the new coach. Mm-hmm. So my loyalty can be bought, or field passes will work. The previous coach owed me some field passes for a favor, and never got them field passes because he got fired.
Yeah.
So Coach Sark, don't even know how to get in touch with him. So
he may be watching.
Clayton's at the University of Oklahoma. You got Landon down at LSU, Marcus at A&M. My boy Nick Martin's up at Oklahoma State. Can't wait till these guys start seeing the field. My Saturdays are going to be fun.
They always are for me either way.
Right after I leave my little kids' flag football game.
Yeah, absolutely.
At 11 o'clock every day.
Both Saturdays are pretty free, too, because Arkansas plays at 9 a.m., right?
Oh, yeah.
You can play golf in the
listen,
afternoon.
it's the greatest time ever to be a Razorback fan.
Is.
The 11 a.m. slot is saved for the University of Arkansas. It's saved for the University of Arkansas.
That's funny.
If you're a tailgater, you got to wake up at 1 a.m., to get your stuff done, but really the rest of the day, man, you get to just lounge and just take your loss in.
Yeah,
I'm just taking it in stride right now.
You're lucky you get to play Texas. You finally don't have to play at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
we'll see what happens.
And
anyway,
the dreams of being a champion are shattered almost immediately, so you don't have to worry about that burden.
how good's Arkansas going to be in all seriousness?
They'll be about 500.
So why would you wager that they're going to be in top 2 in the SEC?
Oh, I mean, you never know what's going to happen.
Oh, no,
it was completely a joke.
There was a handshake and everything.
It was completely no, there was not. No, there wasn't.
We were on the phone.
First off,
there was a virtual handshake.
We never bet $200.
How much was it?
There was never even a monetary amount.
Yes,
set.
there was.
So I spent a lot of time with Mr. Bolt, and he's never said anything that crazy around me, so I'm finding it hard to believe.
Well, he admitted he said it.
Oh, is that right? I thought you were just leaning away from it. Okay.
No, I never. We're gonna have to run the tape. We're gonna have to run the tape back.
It ain't gonna be hard to find.
No, it's not.
We only do them things once a week, every now and then.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna be hard to find, Brian.
Somebody in the comments, go back and find it for us and call Morgan on his cell phone. That number's at the bottom of the screen.
I'll let Cam go. I'll let Cam go back and look through all that footage. Anyway, all right, enough of the nonsense. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. I'm talking PG baseball, the 2021 Texas State champions.
Welcome back. We're live at Walk-Ons with the 2021 Texas State Baseball Champions. We're joined by Coach Fincher over here. Coach, I'm going to give you just a second to introduce the guys that are here with us, and we'll just start from there.
All right. Blake Jennings, he got the win for us in the semifinal game through a complete game. Shutout, gave up, he scattered 2 hits. How many strikeouts? Don't act like you don't know.
Like 4
or 5
Yeah,
strikeouts.
they do try to act like that.
Yeah.
You know, he threw phenomenal for us. He threw the whole playoffs. And the best thing about Blake is we had 2 losses in the playoffs, and you know he came out in those games and didn't have his best stuff, and he'll tell you. But you look at what he did in the regional finals here. He came in relief and threw outstanding. And then to go down there in the semifinals, the largest game he's ever pitched in, and it didn't faze him at all. And Blake did an outstanding job, and we're super excited that he's coming back for us next season. And right here, everybody knows Alex Galvan. You know, Alex Galvan it feels like he's been here forever because his brother played for us for 4 years, and Alex is getting an opportunity to do that as well. And he's I don't want to say utility player, that kind of feels, but he is. You know, he pitches for us. He plays outfield for us, plays first base for us. Stepped up huge in the outfield for us in the playoffs this year when an injury happened to Brock. Did an outstanding job throwing for us. He transitioned from hitting in the 3, 4, 5 hole for us, moved him to the top of the order to lead off. Did an outstanding job throughout the playoffs of getting on base for us, and these 2 guys, along with the other 17 guys on our team, did an outstanding job in the playoffs. And we're sitting here because of these guys and the 17 others on that team.
Yeah, and so of course an amazing season. We were lucky enough to cover some of the games, and then especially that series with LE there at the end of just Texarkana just blew up. I mean, the crowd was phenomenal. I don't know if we have an exact number of how many people tuned in on game day and everything, but
yes.
it was crazy amounts.
So I put that stuff in a lot of different places, and right after the game at the end, there was like 70,000 devices, and it's probably been around the state championship times what I've checked, but there was over 150,000 devices. So probably maybe just 2 people per device, because we got pictures of people 12 deep in a outdoors. So,
yeah.
There was over 200,000 people watch that series, which is just crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts. I got a question for you. I was sitting there thinking, what was that thing they had making all that noise in that game?
Which one?
The semifinal game. Y'all know what I'm talking about? What do you mean, what am I talking about?
I think
Dude, it was like I was sitting behind. I had to move. It was so loud.
I think my mom had said that it was some propane bottles that they had just brought, and like 4 or 5 of them just kept
I asked Vince to go down and ask him how much it'd be to buy it. I was going to try to buy it
because it was loud. It was loud.
That is something their school's done forever in football. And then this year, as long as they went, as far in the playoffs, they brought it over there in baseball, and it's just kind of a tradition thing they have. And to be honest with you, I know a couple people have said how loud it was. Couldn't hear it on the field.
No.
Literally could not hear it on the field.
It was right behind the batter.
It could not hear it on the field. On that game, I was just I think the semifinal game, and these 2 guys can attest to you, in about the 3rd or 4th inning, it's probably the hottest atmosphere I've ever been a part of. I thought I was going, and I wasn't even playing.
Yeah.
And to see the team handle the heat, the way they did, it speaks volumes of them, of how tough they are.
To be honest, I'm glad I didn't have to sit there for another couple innings. I was drenched.
Yeah, it was scorching.
Yeah. Blake, I'll let all 3 of you talk about this, but Blake, what was your initial reaction? You go to Austin, you walk out on the field, you're getting ready to play, up there. How does it feel? I've never been in the situation. I've played in a couple big-time games, but nothing like that. So
He's an Arkansas guy.
but I know you are an Arkansas guy as well. But
he likes to win.
How did it feel?
It felt really good, but personally it didn't kind of hit me until after we got there, but it kind of felt just like another game. I kind of wasn't really thinking about the next game. It was just, we're here to win, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, and so Coach will tell you really don't think about those things until you get older like us. You guys are just in the moment. You go do what you do, and it's not a big deal. And then 10 years down the road, you realize, wow, what did I really do? And I never really knew how big it was, you know?
Yeah.
Y'all have so many things that we didn't have, like when I was in school or when Coach was in school or even Brian. I have nothing from my high school career.
Newspapers.
That's it.
A couple newspaper clippings.
That is it. We played the state semifinal game, and I can't find anything. Somebody sent me a radio clip that somebody had saved, and it's like an 8-minute clip about nothing. That's all we have from our high school career is a radio clip, and it's just, I'm happy for you guys. Y'all are probably too young to realize, but when you get older, I wish I had video to go back. Your dad could ball.
Good
believe
video.
it or not.
Good video.
Yeah.
Because a buddy I played with sent me a video on YouTube, and when it came on, it was staticky, and then it's got the date down at the bottom, and you can
We
tell
do that on purpose now in videos.
it's a VHS, tell us a little bit about, from your perspective, how did it feel walking out there, first game, last game when you won it? Tell us a little bit about the experience.
Just like Blake said, when we had first gotten out there, it was kind of it hadn't really set in. It was just oh, okay, well, we're going down to Austin. And then finally, once we got onto the field, then I was I just tried doing everything I could to just soak it in. So I was maybe whatever happens this first game we don't win, then that's it. So before the game, all of us, we went out onto the field, stepped in the batter's box, just see how it felt. Just took pictures, walked around the stadium. And so I think we all did a really good job of just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Because we never knew how long we would have together.
Yeah.
So this is an odd question, but it has some validity to it. we all stayed in the same hotel that night. Did you have to do anything different the next day? Because, man, it was uncomfortably hot in that hotel. The AC went out in the hotel in Austin, of all places.
It was, that first night in the hotel, it was definitely warm. It was warm. The guys handled it well. You know, I went and I did room checks. A lot of them were tired because it was a long day getting down there. Some of the rooms were hot. Most of them were. A couple of them had fans, but they really didn't complain about it much. We got up the next day. No one was complaining. I think I was probably complaining the most about it. We got up, we ate, got to the field, had to go hit at the softball field. We couldn't hit there at the stadium because they had the NCAA tournament coming there. And the guys handled it well. They handled the situations well. We always talk about we're not going to get upset and about stuff that's out of our control. And they did an outstanding job of that. And, I mean, it was hot. You know, it was hot.
I checked out the next morning. I'm not staying here.
But as soon
Y'all call me if they see it's fixed.
As soon as the game was over, I stayed there. The team and other coaches went to eat, and there was already our admin had already told me, hey, we called the air's fixed. If it's not fixed, they're taking care of it. We'll go somewhere else. And so we had planned after the semifinal game on Thursday, going to the championship game, hey, we'll get up, we'll practice somewhere, we'll get around. And the more I talked with the coaches and the more we just discussed it, we're like, let's just sit around and relax. If we were back at home in Texarkana, that's what we would do. We wouldn't get out and go practice. So the guys did a good job. I made them all get up early to eat breakfast. Some of them hated it, you know, but we got up at 8:30 on Thursday, ate breakfast, let them go back to sleep, let them hang out in their rooms, had lunch delivered at 1 o'clock, and then we went to the field around 3:45. And I thought they handled it well, and it speaks so highly of the young men that we have because I checked them at night, you know, to go to sleep at 10 o'clock, and they were in their rooms. And then the whole Thursday, I wasn't concerned that they were left the hotel or did anything because I knew what kind of kids we have. They're great young men. They're very respectable, and they were there for a reason, to go win a state championship, and they got to enjoy it as well. And then after the state championship, I'm sure we'll talk about it more, but the celebration we had at the hotel was awesome.
Oh, we'll get into that.
And that night real fast, that's one of the only times I was exhausted, and I just told them, guys, don't get too loud, I'm going to bed. And that was it, and we woke up the next day, and everything was great.
So y'all got back around, 10 to the hotel?
I believe so.
Yeah, so all these people were down there waiting on you. Coach Gibson ordered a bunch of pizza. I can't think of her name. She ordered a cake and all that, and all these people are there. And, those are the moments y'all are going to miss being on the field, but you're going to remember, that kind of stuff. I don't know if we have any video loaded of it, but we have some video of it, Coach talking to the team and talking about how much smarter everybody is than him. But, no, that was a cool moment. I mean, you've been to a lot of, pinnacle situations. What is the one thing, you won't forget about that day?
I just think just seeing how happy all the kids were. Just see I don't want to say a grind because I tell them all the time, this isn't a grind. A grind is paying a mortgage, sending kids to college, running a business. That's a grind. They're still kids, but there's a lot asked of them, from their schoolwork to some of them have jobs to helping out around the house and what we demand out of them, and to see that come out and them be crowned champions. To see how excited they were, to see it didn't matter if they played every single inning or if they played 3 or 4 innings. It didn't matter. They were all one. They were all one, and no one will ever take that away from them. They're always going to be crowned state champions. And so to see them come together as a team throughout the whole year and to see it finally happen, that's what I'll always take away from the season.
That's awesome, man. Guys, so we got the last out coming up, and the hitter hit it to an odd spot. I mean, I wasn't in good position. Obviously now I know he was out, but at the time I was like, that was close.
Yeah.
And then the reaction of the coach and him, I was like, maybe he wasn't out, but it was an immediate celebration. I mean, walk me through, that last out and the post celebration.
I was kind of stressing a little bit because there was only one out and runners on first and second, and I was like, what's going to happen here? And then he hit it, and I was like, okay, Tucker made a good play right there, and then he dove. I was like, kid's got to be out.
Yeah.
When the ump called out, it was like everything just slowed down in life, and I was like, we actually just won it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, Because, well, from where I was out in the outfield, he hit that line drive. I was like, oh, okay, Tucker caught it. Then I saw him dive for it, and I was like, did he really get him? And then the umpire called him out, and I was like, and so I think the best part about being in outfield, too, is you're not on the very bottom of the dog pile.
That's exactly right.
You get to lay all your weight on top of the dog pile. You don't have to be on the bottom getting squished. So, yeah, I think that was the best part
Well,
about
I think
it.
when y'all get y'all's rings, y'all got a dog pile coach this time.
No, that's fine.
That's probably what y'all need to do.
I think that's fair.
We'll let them, and that's I don't know why that started in this game of baseball and dog piles, and it's, I've done it before. I've been on the bottom of it as a player before. Like Alex said, it sucks. You're celebrating, you're like, get off. And there's some pictures I was looking at yesterday. UIL just released their pictures on their website, and there's one of Carson Rhodes, and he looks like it's just killing him. He's celebrating, but he's trying to get everybody off. And it's memories like that these guys will always have. They'll come back in 5 years or 10 years or next season when the seniors come back and we celebrate them and, we give their rings. They're all going to have stories to tell each other. And they're going to continue these stories as they get older and older. And as they have kids, they'll be able to show them all this stuff. And, I mean, that's special. That's something that they'll always have.
Gamon, you ever get tired of sports?
No.
It's like you wake up, go to it, you come home to it.
Yes.
Like
no.
what is it like for you at home? I mean, it's like you're baseball. Your dad's probably coming on talking basketball. Well, they got a baseball team.
Yeah.
But you don't ever get a time off.
No. I feel like, and it's kind of, we have a little bit of time off, kind of late summertime, to where I can just finally just be able to just chill, do whatever. But yeah, so for the most part, football from August to December, which I decided to do that one more time this year. So
speaking of doing that, Cam, throw this photo up for me. Throw this photo up. Dude is ripped. And I didn't realize it. Check this kid out.
That's editing. That's Photoshop.
Is that editing? So I ordered a bunch of stuff for a new market we're going into. So I had all these reward points, and I'm like, you know what? I want this. I don't even know what to call it, but it's basically a photo lens. And it's the same one they use in the NFL and all that. I'm like, I bet you probably saw it out there. Thing's like this long. It's completely unnecessary. But I'm like, you know what? We're going to do it. This thing will zoom in on your eyeball from the other side of the field. It's nuts. Anyway, that's a product of that.
Yeah.
So, no Photoshop. I'll give it to him, dude. Kid's ripped up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Made me feel real bad about myself.
He's young.
I don't know what you're laughing for, Brian. You can feel bad too.
Hey,
don't get too overconfident.
If that lens will make me look like that, take all the pictures you want. But, Coach, talking about the dog pile and pictures, it made me think of something that I saw on social media or somewhere, but I think it was one of your kids or something, and the team's dog piling, and you're over hugging one of your kids, and what a special moment that was.
Yeah.
Is that your favorite picture that you've seen so far?
Absolutely. My son got to experience the whole season. He's 12 years old. He's going in the 7th grade. He's traveled with us in football. He's been on the sidelines with us in football. I never really wanted him in our dugout in baseball because I didn't know how much he'd pay attention, and we've tried it before, and he'd want to go out and play with his friends, which I completely understand that.
Yeah.
But he comes to practice every day, got his own team. Well, this year he wanted to be a part of it all, and it's all because of our players. Our players welcome my kids like they're their own.
Yeah.
And so my son he would go to every game. Well, the last Lauren always wants to come in the dugout. No, you're 8 years old. You're too young. You don't need to come in here. Your father might say some stuff you don't want to hear. But the LE series, she walks on the field, and she's very confident in herself as an 8-year-old. She's like, this is where I'm supposed to be. So she walked out there, and I said, what are you doing? She goes, I want to stay in the dugout. And I said, okay, that's fine. So they rode the bus with us to Austin. They were in the dugout with us, and they're such troopers because in the state semifinal game, my daughter was about passed out in the dugout. I mean, she was hot.
Dude, I can't even describe you how hot it was.
It was
super hot.
And so to get to that picture, my brother was there also. He lives in Fayetteville. He flew in from Fayetteville Thursday at 8:30 in the morning in the dugout. And when the final out happened, I immediately, I think Lucas was right there and Coach Hudson and hugged them first, and they went out and celebrated with the team, and I immediately just turned around for my kids to see what they were doing, and she came running out to me, gave me a huge hug. My brother took a picture of it, which was amazing, and my son was kind of staying back, and I asked him why. I said, go celebrate on dog pile. He's like, I don't want to get hurt. So he stayed back from that. But to have those memories, I'm 41 years old, and when, my kids will be out of the house soon, but I'll always have those memories of them, and they don't look as me. They know I'm a coach, but they don't look as me. They look at me as dad. Yeah. And for them to always know that I'm there for them in anything, and to be able to share that moment with them, it's priceless. It's definitely priceless.
And people don't quite understand how much high school coaches have invested. I mean, from my previous experience as a high school coach, and especially baseball, I mean, people don't understand how many hours you put in, not only there at the office, on the field with your kids, but when you're at home, you're still coaching. You're taking phone calls. You're worried about your kids. You're dealing with administration. You're worried about the next day's practice plan. You're always working. They don't understand exactly how much goes into it, and so your family, it meant so much, and I know it did. And I could see it in that picture, and I love the picture.
It ended up getting aired, and I hate it didn't. But ESPN called about that particular video we had with your little girl. And they want to know the backstory on it and all this and that. And I hate it didn't get ran. We are doing a feature on Fincher and his family, so they might pick that up. We'll hope for that. But I don't want to sound old, because I'm really not that much older than y'all in comparison.
He's pretty old.
I'm not that old. I'm the youngest one sitting here, outside of y'all two. I can still hear my high school coach yelling at me. Like, I can still hear Coach Lamore, Smith. Like, I can still hear it. It's just – it's good times. It really is good times. It's the best time of your – I'll say best time of your life, but it's going to be up there, but, tell me about – you get back – you celebrated with your parents right after. Tell me about your experience with that.
I think as soon as – it was good, because the moment, we got everything out of the dugout, and we walk up to the top, and everybody's just standing waiting on us. And so I think it was pretty cool, because, I was in charge of the helmet badge, so I had all of it, so I just threw it down, went and gave my mom a hug, and I think that was pretty cool too, just because even they sat down at the very bottom in that sun, and I was like, you didn't have to do that. I was like, if y'all wanted to go sit up in the shade.
Your dad's got that super fan, though.
Yeah.
Like, whatever kind of fan that is he has, I was like 20 rows above him, I feel it.
Yeah.
He probably wasn't hot at all.
But yeah, so I think it was really cool, and to see my brother was able to come down to it too, and so I had to kind of rub it in his face a little bit, just to let him know.
I feel you. I know what it's like. What about you?
It was kind of like all the hard work and all the practices and everything that we had done for the year had paid off, especially those 7 a.m. workouts. You get up there with your crowd, fans and stuff, and just see how much support goes in behind you, and hugging everybody around the neck was just amazing.
It's good times, man. I'm telling y'all never forget it.
Yeah. I want to know how many phone calls and texts did you get the next day?
Oh, I checked my phone. I had probably 20-something texts just right then and there. So just waiting on the bus, just waiting on everybody, just responding. A bunch of my family, they were watching it on the live stream or whatever, so they were just responding. And so I really appreciated just everybody, just what all was put into it and everything like that.
The live stream was terrible compared to ours.
Well, I was just going to say the
UIL, holler at your boy. I got you.
The ones that were watching live stream, they were wishing that Texarkana Gameday did it, so they didn't have to pay for it, right?
Yeah. So they can hear Frank yell every time something happens.
And they don't have to see the players who look like that big on the field.
And so Blake's dad told me that he had a bunch of girls calling and texting him, wanting to know if he was single and whatnot.
Really?
Wanting to know when he was going to get his ring in, when they could come see it and everything.
Getting him in trouble.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
That's just what I heard.
Coach Fincher, he's gonna have a problem where he's gonna put all these rings at, because his daughter told us he's winning every one of them.
Yeah.
So
better find a spot.
I don't know how long this coaching career is going to last, but you better dedicate a wall.
If you win that many, it doesn't have to be very long.
No, we talk about, to kind of reiterate how much the guys celebrate. We talk about all the time in our program. We'll enjoy this game for a little bit, and then we'll go. But I hope these guys get to enjoy this, throughout the whole summer. even today, for them getting to come up here and talk about it, we're going over to Anderson's tonight at 7 o'clock. Have our final team celebration, get together, go over there, eat, swim, hang out with each other. Just a chance for the guys to hang out, again together, and they deserve it. They deserve all the accolades. They deserve everything they're getting, and we'll get a chance when our rings come in. Like I said, we've already talked about it. Hopefully they come in before the first football game where everyone can get honored, and pass out the rings to those guys and let them get honored again in front of the home crowds. It'll be a huge crowd for the home, start off the football season. So as long as we can celebrate these guys and keep celebrating them, we'll be good. But, we definitely know that, next season will be here before we, before we know it, because this year is with COVID and everything, it still felt like the year flew by. And now next year with all the restrictions gone, it's going to fly by even more. And, these guys can tell you, just like all of us can, it seems like, last week they were stepping on campus as freshmen. And now they're seniors. It flies by. We talk about it all the time. You better embrace it and enjoy it, because it does go fast. And these two guys have grown up so much, not only as players but as men. And they're leaders in our program by the way they carry themselves.
Yeah. I'd say I brought my daughter down there to the state tournament, and we got to do all this like fun stuff and everything. Y'all won state, and we're on the ride back, and she's like, I want to do that when I'm in high school. Like, I want to be that happy, And I'm like, well, doesn't have that. There's only 6 champions in the state of Texas. Manage your expectations. But she was like, that was a really cool. She didn't go to the football game.
Right.
She was in the hotel right beside, but she didn't go. She was a little too young, where she wanted to go, I guess. But man, she looked up to you guys, and y'all are gonna be champions forever, just like Coach said. And super proud of y'all. And I know y'all are gonna do great things in life. So.
Before we get off here, just one quick, and just each of you, just real quick, because I want to know, and I know other people want to know. We'll start with you, Alex. What is one thing about either the season or the championship game? What's one moment that sticks out? Just real quick. I mean, maybe it was a hit or it was just something. What's the one thing that sticks out this past season?
I think honestly, it was when bases were loaded. That last game against Liberty, that first game against Liberty ILO. I had got on. I had just finally just put the ball in play. Was able to get a base hit. Then someone else was able to get on, and then JM was able to get on, and Murphy fought that long at bat, was able to get on, and so I was like, all right, we gave ourselves a chance, and Tucker came through, and there's just everything, the crowd, just everything about it, it just meant so much in that moment. Yeah.
Blake, what about you? If you could pick out just one thing that when you think of this baseball season, not just the ring, but what's the one moment that sticks out to you?
Probably the fight that our team had in us this year, because Lindell game lost the first game, got beat 9-5, and you're going into that game like this could be it. And we beat Lindell. Spring Hill game got beat 8-0, came back and won that. And then the LE game we were down, and that Kobe Brooks home run really just kind of killed everything.
Yeah.
And then when we came back in the dugout, that moment just sparked everything.
And Coach, isn't it funny that you asked the state champions in the state of Texas what the thing was that stuck out the most in their mind, and it wasn't the last pitch of a championship game? Isn't that amazing that just the littlest thing that you never would have thought out of 10 different things would be their biggest time or their most memorable moment? And so, Coach, we'll let you in. What was the thing that stuck out to you the most that you'll always remember about this championship team?
I think the thing about this team that is so special is there's quote unquote no superstars, and we say that with all the respect in the world. If you go look from our first game in February against Atlanta to our last game in June against Rusk, every single person on our team had a hand in it. Whether they were a starting pitcher, a relief, they started in the infield, there was so many moving parts, and our kids were so unselfish. Because it's team first, and to see that, Blake started the year, he was playing short and second, and then we let him, or he earned his way to come in and pitch in relief in the second tournament of the year against Carthage, shuts him down, goes out the next week against Hallsville. He goes toe-to-toe with the kid that's committed to TCU. and continues to get better every year. And then he kind of falls back a little bit, but then later in the playoffs, he continues to dominate. Guys like Alex that played first and center and right and pitched. We can go up and down our roster, but it was truly a team that came together throughout the whole year. I mean, if you would have watched us play the first of the year in Marshall in a tournament, I thought I was going to lose my mind on some stuff because it was so elementary, the mistakes we were making. But to see these guys come together, to see them take coaching, and there's I can be a little tough sometimes, and Blake might think I'm hardest on him, but
No doubt.
It's because we know what's inside of people like Blake.
Yeah.
We know what's inside of people like all of our pitchers. You look on Blaine, on Blaine, the fight that young man has. Brock Bearden to the injuries we had with Brock and JM, Tucker, the injuries that people don't see, those guys throughout the whole year, and everybody picking each other up. I think we played 43 games, and we were talking about this as a coaching staff. We might have had the same lineup maybe 6 of those games, and that's just a testament to our kids of when their number was called to get into the lineup to play a position that they stepped up for their teammates. And that's what will always stick out about this team, is it is a group of young men that fought their tails off in practice every day and in games, and they never quit.
Yeah.
And that's what's so special.
Well, from a baseball fan, I just want to tell you guys and Coach Fincher, it was an absolute honor to get to call some of your games this year. And as a baseball fan in Texarkana, it was great to see great baseball being played in town. And so my first baseball season to be with Morgan and game day and being able to do what we did, I mean, just an awesome time it was for me. And so I appreciate you guys.
Well,
and
yes, sir.
I know
Thank
we'll
you.
have another season coming up, and so hopefully it'll be just as good as this season. But you guys did something bigger than winning the state championship.
Yeah, no doubt.
You made Morgan Smith a baseball fan.
I was about to say,
Do you hear me?
from a new baseball fan.
Do you know how big that is?
Oh, I know. We've talked
I
about
hear
it
that's
numerous
pretty big.
times.
'Cause all I heard was, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
Man, if you've never experienced it, my only experience with baseball was going and sitting in the Ranger Stadium,
Burning up.
Like, who would like that? That's my baseball
And
experience.
he will never admit it. But I told him, I said, if you watch good baseball, you'll love it. You got to watch good baseball.
All right,
you
man,
know?
I'll see y'all next spring.
Well, that's what's so great about this.
Brian Bolt may or may not be there. Let's just say that. He keeps this up.
We're definitely winning it next year. So.
I like it. I'm going to be in the house. Hey, do me a favor. Talk to your coach about this internet situation. I need to come through on this.
We're getting it. We're getting it.
All right, we're gonna be in the house. Promise y'all.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, that's gonna be it for us. Got anything,
Nope,
Coach?
I'm good.
I say it over and over. Just appreciate you guys of what y'all have done for the kids in this community and the surrounding areas, of showcasing them. It's amazing. It's like I said, something that we don't have. When we were growing up, and for these guys to be showcased, and they deserve all the credit for every student athlete, extracurricular, around the amount of work y'all put in. We cannot say thank you enough, and we'll continue to say thank you. And you guys are always welcome out there. We'll get that internet stuff taken care of.
I appreciate it. Game day is a lot of fun. I mean, nobody's really getting paid for doing it. We do it because we like to do it,
Yeah.
and it's one of the things as an adult y'all are going to find when y'all get older. Just because you do a job and make a living doesn't mean you like it. And I've done a lot. I have 4 different businesses, and 3 of them I don't like, if I'm being completely honest. I like doing game day. This is fun. And y'all don't even know it, but we're really just doing what they were doing on ESPN in 2000.
Yeah.
It's real. We're just copying what's going on ESPN in the year 2000. But it's good times, and we appreciate y'all letting us cover you.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.